Hey y'all, Wacky Wormer here with another episode of GT&H. Last episode we worked on this steam generation farm right here. We're growing these spruce saplings, converting those to charcoal here in the advanced coke oven, and then moving those out into the advanced boilers here to generate steam. This is mostly working pretty well for me. I still need to add a bunch more of these boilers to use up all the coal or charcoal that I'm generating. If I was smelting some aluminum earlier in the blast furnace, and I was still pulling down on the tank here a little bit. But I've got the capacity here. I just need to add the boilers, which are expensive to craft. But you know, that's how it goes. I have had some issues with the item pipes here, though. I think I don't fully understand how the GregTech item pipes work, but I've had a couple of issues. So first of all, we've got this barrel here with the void upgrade supposedly, and I've had to manually transfer these saplings over. If we come over here and look at the crop manager, you can see that it's filling up with saplings and not extracting those into the barrel. I think I have an explanation for that. I think these item pipes have internal inventories, and I'm assuming that when if it's extracting wood, right? If it's extracting the logs, it fills this up. Those internal inventories are still filled with logs. They have nowhere to go. And so there's no way for the saplings to get from the crop manager to the barrel. That sucks, but it kind of makes sense to me, right? If that explanation is wrong, please let me know, because I definitely want to understand this more, especially since I'm still a little ways from getting the Ender IO pipes, which would help a lot here. The thing I don't understand is, so I've got a cover on here. Can I shift right click that to see it? I've got this cover on here. I think I have it set appropriately. So it should be importing into the machine it's attached to, or the block it's attached to, right? And it's blocking input. Either way, I've tried several settings here. It seems like no matter what I try, it'll actually try to pull saplings out of the barrel here. I don't understand that. I don't know why that's happening. So anyways, if you have any ideas there, please let me know. It would be much appreciated. In this episode, I said last episode we were going to work on infrastructure, and we definitely need to do that. I've been pretty hesitant to dive into it because I'm not really a design and layout kind of person. I know obviously I've kind of made this where all my current power is generating, and these potent pipes are fairly expensive for me still to move this steam around. So I know it's going to be over in here. I've been kind of procrastinating on it because I don't know exactly how I want it set up, but we're going to do it this episode. But we're going to do kind of some other infrastructure things first, I guess, before we even get to that. The first thing that we're going to do is craft up. Actually, you know what? The first thing we're going to do is I have long been searching for these desert gardens. They were the last thing I needed to get the healing axe. I did a lot of exploring. You can see I crafted a hang glider off camera. I did a ton of exploring. I was really procrastinating and thinking about moving the base. Realized that was a big distraction, but I did find these desert gardens. So now I should be able to come to fishing, farming, cooking, submit, and hopefully rainbow curry. Rainbow curry. That's all I'm missing. Oh, I've got curry rice. Oh, I still need all the... Yeah, okay. So I'm not quite to the point of getting the healing axe yet. I just need to go collect a bunch of flowers and make a skillet. That's cheap. That's not bad. And these flowers are pretty cheap too. Okay, I'll collect all that off camera and turn in the healing axe. It's been a really big pain to keep track of food. So I'll deal with that off camera. I thought I was going to check that box off, and that was a little disappointing. So sorry about that. Okay, anyways, with that not exactly resolved, but paused for now, what we're going to work on next is mining infrastructure. I don't know if that's the best thing to call it, but we're going to invest in the LV basic miner. And this is, I think I have all the parts ready for this, hopefully, except for my 2 circuits, which are here. So yeah, I'm way shy on ores and materials. I mean, I have a lot, but it's never a lot of the things that you need. So we're going to invest in this miner. We are also going to, I have a thing set up here somewhere, don't I? Oh, I must have picked it up at some point. We need to invest in mining pipes. We want the large. Yep. And then we want to put this into the wire mill. What's the circuit number? Let's see here. Wire mill, no circuit number. Cool. Okay, so that's going to make the mining pipes, which is going to control how far down the basic miner can dig. And then lastly, we need a way to supply power to the basic miner. That in the quest book is on a different tab. It was on the storing and transforming tab. And that's this battery buffer here. So we're going to craft this battery buffer. I just need 4 4x10 wires. The circuit 4 in the wire mill. Yeah. 2 per, so I need 8 of these 10 wires. That'll go in there and that'll make the wires that we need for the battery buffer. The other thing we're going to need is batteries to put in the buffer. I have already crafted the battery hulls, and then I've been centrifuging some lithium dust out of the, is it lepidolite? I think that's right. So we're going to fill these up with lithium, and then I think we could actually just drop it there and charge it. Yeah, and that's going to take a minute, but not too long. So we're going to get these 4 lithium batteries, which is actually really cool. I think that's going to be, we might not always use it for the miner, right? We can pull them out and use them in other places. So we're going to get all that charging. And then we're going to switch this over to circuit 4 and then throw our 10 in there. And that's going to get us our battery buffer. And then once I get all that made, I'm going to head out to a copper or a tin. I think I'm going to go for tin ore vein. And then we're going to drop our miner out there. So I'll see you then. All right, so we are headed over to this Garnetton ore vein. Along the way, I wanted to point out, you've seen those blue, I think they're called frost blocks that I've been using in the base, just trying to figure out what color scheme I want and all that kind of stuff. I thought I was collecting snow. They're made from ice, right? And I was collecting snow because I didn't have any silk touch or anything. But you can use the hammer on those, on the ice blocks, and it'll give you these, ice dust that you put into the compressor, and that'll compress it back into the ice block for use to make those frost blocks, which is really cool. So I just wanted to point that out as kind of a useful tip that you can use that hammer in the real world, not in the crafting table, and get some overworld use out of it. Okay, so first thing I want to do before I even think about putting power on this thing is make sure that we are fully covered. Remember, for electric machines, whether it's LV, MV, whatever, right, just non-steam machines, you've got to have at least 1 block outside of the footprint itself covered. So I got to cover all this, but then I'll put the battery buffer here, which means I need to get all of that covered too, and then we should be good there. Okay, so then let's drop the battery buffer in. Let's grab this wrench and turn that to the side, and then we can put our 4 LV batteries here, and then we can drop in our mining pipe there. And then I've also made this slightly larger chest. So this is a chest that is crafted from 2 wooden planks and a normal chest in an assembler. But 2 advantages of it is it holds its... Oh no, I thought it held its inventory when it broke. I guess not. It can open with solid blocks above it, so that's nice. I really thought it held its inventory when you broke it, so that kind of sucks. But that's okay. We'll figure it out. So item auto output, and then let's make sure that's going up top. Okay, so now this thing's gonna mine. I didn't realize it was gonna pick up dirt. That's interesting. I mean, I guess it's just going to pick up whatever it takes down in a straight line, and then eventually it fans out to pick up the ores. I'm not really sure. But we do need one more thing. We do need to chunk load this area so that it keeps mining when we walk away from it. Okay, cool. So this is going to help. There we go. Look at that. Cassiterite sand. All right, we're doing good. So this is going to run... I did not fill up my batteries all the way, by the way. I filled up these 3. These were at 100,000, and then this one was in the 50s or something. So it is pulling more EU than I thought it was going to, but at the same time, I think we're in good shape. Okay, so this is going to help us get ores. Now, processing ores is a very slow process for me currently. So let's work on speeding that up. Okay, so in order to process ores quicker, there's kind of 2 slow points in my processing line right now, but one of them is optional, and that's the centrifuge, right? I'm one of those people that I've got to do things at maximum efficiency. I don't take speed ups over extra byproducts or whatever, right? That's absolutely a failing, especially in GT&H. Like, there's a time to be efficient and get extra processing byproducts, and then there's a time where you just need a ton of copper or iron or tin or whatever, and you just need to do it quick, right? So the centrifuge is the slowest part of the process, but it is skippable. I can always take those clean dusts or dirty dust and then throw them in the cauldron, or I could craft up a quick ore washer or something to get that clean so it's ready for smelting or whatever, right? The part that is slow but not skippable is the macerator. So if we go to GT++, and pretty much everyone in all the other playthroughs I've watched craft this, so it's nothing unique by any standards, but we have a multi-block steam macerator. This requires a ton of bronze that you can see here. It's going to require tembaga, which was, what was that? That was like gold and copper or something. Alloy smelter. Yeah, let's look at this. Yep, gold and copper to get the tembaga. Hoppers, I think that was 10 plates. Same deal here. We need a fluid tank. I've got one behind me that has a little bit of fluid copper in it. Hopefully it'll take it. We'll see. And then finally, the controller of the machine, the steam grinder, requires a couple diamonds, a couple pistons, and a tembaga frame box, which is easily craftable in the assembler. So let me get all the parts and pieces of this made up, and then we'll head back down to the basement and find a good location for it. And there we go. All right, so we have crafted our steam tier multi. And then we're going to come down here, and I'm still deciding how I want to lay things out. So I'm thinking we just go with something temporary to get up and running for now, and then I'll work on making it look better later. Can I input from the bottom? Probably not, right? Where's my wrench? Oh, maybe so. Maybe so. Okay, and then this is the grinder. So it's 3x3x3 hollow. controller in the front center, and then the other things can go anywhere we please. So as not to block this, then I'll make that the front center. We'll do outputs there. We'll do input there. And then we need to take this part of the wall out. And then that's all the special blocks, right? So we can just fill this up, and it said hollow, I believe. Did it really leave me that far shy? Because it was 22 bronze plated bricks, but then this required 4, and that's the 1, 2, 3. I'm only 3 shy. Anyways, I'll go get these made up, and I'll be right back. Oh, I am 4 shy. All right, we've got our 4 bronze plated bricks, so I need to fill up the center hole back here. Those 4. All right, we got a good transformation there. And then I went ahead and grabbed some chalcopyrite. And then I'm sure that I need incomplete structure. Not surprising that I didn't get it right on the first try. It did say structure 3x3x3 hollow. Controllers in the front center. Oh, does that mean... Oh, wait. That probably means I need to move it up 1. For some reason, I just took that to mean the bottom. So that means we need that on the bottom. And then that right there. And then, is that going to update? Hey, there we go. Hit with soft mallet to start. Enabled. Okay, we're running. We're processing. And then the next question is, how much steam is this thing going to use? I have no idea. Look at that. Look at how fast that was. Man, that's cool. Oh, man, this is going to make processing so much faster. Okay, well, I'm going to run through some of this processing, probably make up some more potent pipes, and then we're going to decide exactly how we're going to lay out our machines here for the time being. So I'll see you then. All right, so we are headed back to the miner. I've had to restock the batteries on this thing. I think this is the 4th trip I've made, maybe. And I've also, because of the size of this chest, I've also had to empty a few things out of it periodically. So you can see I've only got half a stack of cassiterite sand here, but that's because I've taken like 3 full stacks out of it or something like that at this point. So I'm going to grab, because I think we're kind of stopped up here a little bit. I'm just going to grab some of these things that are the lowest in count. I think we've essentially depleted the ore vein at this point anyways, but we'll just let this run out the battery on that, and then hopefully it won't, I can take this stack of 64 out, but hopefully it won't get stopped up again, and we'll be in good shape there. That's been super helpful. I got a ton of cassiterite ore, plus the other stuff in there, cassiterite sand. Yeah, I'm going to be moving that over to a copper vein at some point, because I'm also pretty low on copper. And then probably iron after that, but it kind of depends on where the progression takes us. Okay, so the plan for the rest of this episode is to... I put a lot of thought into why I'm so hesitant to get a lot more machinery and stuff going down there in the basement. And it's because I was very stuck on kind of the design of how everything was laid out. I copied the server world to my single player instance, right? And I played with a couple ideas, and I've got a plan. So the rest of this episode, we are going to execute on that plan. But first, while I was waiting on the ores to mine and everything else to happen, I did a little bit of exploring. I picked up all the components, hopefully all the components, that we need for, Rainbow Curry. So we're going to take all that, And I should have known I didn't need to make 20 wooden bowls. Where did they go? Oh, well. Anyways, but we're going to take... Oh, that was the last thing we needed to submit, right? So fishing, farming, cooking, healing axe, detect, and then claim. There we go. It's been getting real old munching on the beef Wellingtons and then having to balance out the efficiency of that with other things. So it's awesome to pick up the healing axe and then kind of put that behind me. We'll work on making a kitchen so that we can make all the other recipes to pick up the extra hearts at some other point. Right now, I'm just worried about keeping focused on progression through MV and HV. So we'll worry about that stuff later. Okay. So let me show you, let me show you a couple things. What my plan is for the episode. Let's grab this right here. And then I can put this crowbar back up because I don't need it and I shouldn't need the hammer. Okay. So let me show you what my plan is going to be here and kind of how I'm going to go about executing on this, right? So my plan is that I'm going to open up kind of this area of the base here. I'm going to, let's see if we F9 and get our chunk boundaries showing, right? This next chunk right here, this is going to be fully opened up and it's going to be the home of actually everything we have so far. Everything upstairs, and then these two multi-blocks here are all going to go into this chunk here. I'm going to move this steam tank and the farm behind it into the chunk that's back this way. So that's going to feed steam out into the center of this room, into the tank, which is going to be kind of up in the ceiling a little bit. And then that'll distribute out into different areas. And then this room will become the new inventory space. So all those drawers are going to move down here into this inventory room. And then at that point, we'll really just be fully moved into the basement and hopefully have a much more efficient layout in terms of the adjacency of the crafting room and the inventory room, along with all the machines that I'm going to craft or that I'm going to use to process materials for crafting recipes. And then also start working on a more fully fleshed out kind of ore processing pipeline, kind of a general ore processing pipeline, because there's going to be, specific deviations from that. But yeah, that's the plan. So I'm going to work on opening all this out and then getting all this stuff moved over. One thing I'm going to do is, as I'm opening this up, as you should always do in GregTech New Horizons, is respect the chunk boundaries. And so you can see like we have a corner right here. I'm gonna mine this out and I'm gonna put this stained clay down here as a marker for one corner of the chunk boundary. And then we're gonna mine out all the way over. Let's just take this. We're gonna mine clear till we get to the next boundary, which should be pretty soon here. There we go. And then I should have an excavator still, yeah. Let's get rid of all this, and let's just go ahead and open all that up. And then, yeah, let's open this up. I'm not going to do all this mining on camera, or actually I'm going to kind of time-lapse it, I hope. But I do want to show you kind of what my general strategy is going to be for laying this out. All right, so I put this marker on the outside of the chunk I actually care about, right? I'm going to put this marker on the inside of the chunk I care about. And what that's going to do is allow us to keep an even layout, because chunks are 16 blocks wide, which means that they do not have a center, right? But centers are always nice to have in Minecraft. So that's why we're kind of offsetting one side of the boundary of the chunk into the next one. And then that way we can count and we can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So right below this is the center of this chunk, right? And then I should be able to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. So that's going to mark the center of my chunk. So I'm going to kind of think about it as this is kind of the main pathway to move from the crafting room into this next room. When I put the steam tank over there into this room, it's going to be in the exact center of it based on this line here. And then I'm gonna distribute the steam through the potent pipes out from there. Okay, so that's kind of the general way I'm gonna go about this. The other thing I'm gonna do is, even though this path is gonna be kind of the main entrance into the machinery room here, I think what I'm actually gonna do is have a smaller secondary path here, and then I'm gonna line up those LV machines I have upstairs kind of to either side here. So, you can imagine some crafting or some inventory stuff on the wall here and maybe over here or something like that. Maybe even a little bit kind of in the center of the room or something. And then you've got this kind of main pathway through, which gives you access to the blast furnace or ore processing or maybe some other specialized things. But then you've got this quick and easy path right here that's just like, oh, I need the bending machine, or I need the mixer or the alloy smelter or whatever. It's just right here next to all the crafting stuff. So that's kind of the approach I'm going to take with this room. I'm going to get everything set up for like a second recording. And we're going to see if we can like time lapse this thing and make it look kind of cool. All right, so I'll see you on the other side. welcome back. At the very end of that little montage there, you saw where I started adding some sort of aesthetic elements to the build. I did a little bit more of that. I haven't like completed the crafting room yet, but I did kind of dress it up a little bit. So I wanted to kind of save that for a big reveal here. We're going to start up here up top where I can show you that I have removed all of the LV machines that I'd had up here and the power generation and everything. I do still have some of the steam machines over here and the Tinker's stations here and a few chests to clean up. But the vast majority of stuff I have moved downstairs. So let's go ahead and hop down and take a look. Nothing has really changed in this room yet, so we'll just kind of proceed on back. And I really like kind of sizing these rooms by chunks. I really like how grand they kind of turn out being. Like a lot of people, I do tend to follow the 9x9 build early on, and it's useful, and there's a reason it exists. But the scaling of these chunk size builds, this is just, I don't know, I like it a lot. So we come in and I've got all our crafting tables and some chests set up down here on the floor. You can see a bunch of parts from where I took down our temporary setup back here where we made the advanced coke oven bricks, right? But I've got a lot of, decoration stuff, and then my two chests from upstairs that have all my useful crafting tools, and then like the rods and plates and everything. That's all going to be set up down here. I've got storage drawers set up to either side. This is everything from upstairs that I had, and then I went ahead and crafted a bunch more to just kind of fill in this area for now. I don't have direct plans for adding a whole lot more to this. But as we progress through MV and HV, I'm going to need more storage, right? So I'll find things to fill these slots up. And then some of my chests I've moved down here. You can see that there. The furnace wall I've put over here. There's a specific reason I haven't put a lot of effort into kind of finishing out this room yet. And that's because I want to use it and figure out what works and what doesn't work, and then kind of refactor based on that, right? I don't want to put a ton of effort. It took a lot longer than I expected it would to get all this laid out and built. And this is just like one wall, right? So I don't want to put all that effort into kind of getting everything looking nice and pristine and then just be super annoyed at like how far away these drawers are from the crafting tables, for example, or same with the furnaces, right? Because this is further than it was upstairs. Not much, but a little bit. I do like how it looks, though. I like the aesthetics of it. I like the blue and gold. I feel like they go pretty well together. I wish the blue was a little bit darker and a little more vivid, maybe. But I like it a lot. I think it's pretty cool. So, yeah. So like I said, I've got kind of this main path here that leads us into the room. But then we've got this little side path here that's kind of meant to be like, oh, I need to make some iron plates. Let me pop some iron out and then throw them in there, right? It's meant to be close proximity to this. So I've got all that set up here. You can see I've got all my machines from upstairs moved down, and they're in this line. And then on the back side here, this was the cable processing setup, right? So this is like the sulfur comes in. And then this is where I put in the slime and, wire mill and assembling machine to coat it and all that good stuff, right? And then these are the two centrifuges that were next to them upstairs that are not really part of that system, but I've just been using them to process dirty ores or whatever, right? Okay, and then we've got our blast furnace here. We've got our macerator here. Note that I laid this macerator out a little bit backwards, so I have input going in over here and then output coming out here. And that's just because of the room layout, right? I've got this tucked back into a right-hand corner. So if I'm going to use this as the start of an ore processing area, then I've got my ores here. I'll drop them into some storage attached to this. They'll either pop out here, or maybe I'll turn it to the other side where I could, say, push it straight into the forge hammer or push it into an ore washing machine or whatever, right? And then back here, this is still, it's not a work in progress. It's fully functional, except for the fact that I do need a second water tank on this side to feed these furnaces. But I haven't really taken the time to kind of decorate it and close this off. I really want to, so the crop manager has to be here. It has to be within 2 blocks of what it's harvesting. But I think I would like to take everything else and lift it up 1 block. And then I could like actually have a little platform under it and make it look a little better than just the, kind of floating contraption here that it is now. I did swap out these pipes here for Electrum pipes. The seems to help a little bit. I've got a bug here. I don't know, now that we're actually backed up on wood, I don't think we'll notice it. But I had a bug where it was pulling charcoal and then reinserting it into the output slot. But that doesn't seem to be affecting us now a whole lot. So this is spitting out steam, and then the pipe runs up and over and then into the top of our iron tank here. And then it distributes out the bottom here. You can see I've gone with the large pipes over and around to here where it splits out into the smaller pipes. And then over here is just the regular pipes that go out to the macerator and then feed this steam turbine here and then this one here that feeds each bank of machines. The one change I've already got in mind for this setup is I like the proximity of this to my storage and crafting area. I don't like how cramped it is. Like coming in here, I'm 1 block away from this wall of machines, and I really have to like scan and then try to figure out where I'm going, right? And then obviously the same thing on this side. So I'm already thinking about pulling up or digging out the chunk behind this one, and then just kind of building a little bit of extra space in here, moving things apart just a little bit so that I have a little bit more room. Yeah, anyways, I really enjoyed doing this. It took a lot more time than I thought it would. But I did enjoy the process, and it did kind of get me, I think, a little bit out of a funk where I just kind of didn't want to progress because I felt like my working area was so small and constrained, and like, where am I going to put the next machines if I start building stuff out? So I think hopefully this is going to kind of propel me out of that funk and give me an environment that I want to progress in a little bit more. All right. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you have any feedback for me on either what I'm doing in the episodes in terms of like how I've actually laid this out and designed it, how I laid this processing room out, or, the macerator back there, anything, the storage. If you have feedback on that, or if you have feedback on, I guess, the editing or the production of the episode, because I did do something a little different this time, right, with the montage and everything, please let me know. I'm eager to get some feedback on how I'm putting this out there, and trying to kind of take that feedback and refine it. And yeah, hopefully next episode, we're going to get started on a bunch of actual MV progression, and really start plowing through that. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.